The scene is California, sun spilling across the Pacific, waves collapsing into white foam. On the sand, a solitary figure walks. Meghan Markle. To some, she is still a Hollywood starlet turned duchess, an icon of modern womanhood who dared to challenge centuries of royal tradition. To others, she is a fallen heroine, accused of arrogance, opportunism, and manipulation. This contradiction, admired and despised, celebrated and vilified, is the paradox of Meghan Markle. Her story is not just a tale of a woman who married into royalty. It is about the crushing weight of centuries-old institutions colliding with the raw, unfiltered power of global media. It is about race, gender, and class, fault lines that became global headlines. And it is about choices, both brave and reckless, that turned a fairy tale romance into a saga of exile and estrangement. In 2018, the world celebrated her royal wedding like a modern Cinderella story. By 2020, she and Prince Harry announced they were stepping back from royal duties, shocking Buckingham Palace and millions watching around the globe. Then came the bombshell Oprah interview, allegations of racism inside the royal family, and a string of lawsuits, brand deals, and public controversies that fractured her reputation beyond repair. This is the story of Meghan Markle's rise and her tragic downfall, a journey from global adoration to deep division. To understand how it all unraveled, we must first go back, before the tiaras and the palaces, to Meghan's roots. Rachel Meghan Markle was born on August 4, 1981, in Los Angeles, California. Raised in a biracial household, her mother, Doria Ragland, an African-American social worker and yoga instructor, and her father, Thomas Markle, a white lighting director in Hollywood, Meghan grew up straddling two worlds. She experienced the privileges of proximity to Hollywood while also facing the sting of subtle racism in everyday life. These formative experiences would later shape her identity as an advocate for social justice and women's rights. She attended Northwestern University, where she studied theater and international relations. After graduation, she pursued acting, climbing the ladder through bit parts and commercials. Her big break came in 2011 when she landed the role of Rachel Zane on the hit legal drama Suits. The part showcased her charm, intellect, and screen presence, and for the first time, Meghan was recognized beyond Hollywood's casting shadows. But acting was never her only ambition. Meghan cultivated her public voice through activism and her lifestyle blog, The Tig, where she wrote about food, travel, and self-empowerment. She championed gender equality as a UN advocate and often spoke about the challenges of being biracial in industries that demanded labels. Her life changed forever in 2016 when she met Prince Harry, fifth in line to the British throne. Their relationship, announced to the world later that year, ignited a media firestorm. For Meghan, a girl from Los Angeles, the path ahead seemed charmed. Yet hidden beneath the glamour was a storm already gathering. The wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in May 2018 was a spectacle watched by millions across the globe. In the grand halls of St. George's Chapel, a biracial American actress marrying into one of the world's oldest monarchies felt like a modern fairy tale. The ceremony blended royal tradition with touches of Meghan's heritage, including a gospel choir and a passionate sermon by Bishop Michael Curry. For a brief moment, the monarchy appeared renewed, vibrant, and inclusive. But beneath the glamour, cracks soon began to appear. The British press, once enchanted, began scrutinizing Meghan's every move. From the fit of her clothes to her relationship with staff, she was portrayed as difficult and demanding. Headlines compared her unfavorably to Kate Middleton, fueling a narrative of rivalry between the two duchesses. Stories of palace aides resigning under stress circulated widely, painting Meghan as a diva within the rigid royal system. Cultural clashes deepened the rift. Meghan's direct American manner, her push for independence, and her habit of speaking openly reportedly jarred with the monarchy's culture of silence and protocol. For a woman used to controlling her own narrative as an actress and activist, royal life was stifling. What was meant to be a fairy tale quickly shifted into a battlefield between tradition and modernity. With Meghan caught in the crossfire, the palace tried to contain the tension, but the media storm only grew louder, laying the foundation for what was to come. By the end of 2019, the couple's disillusionment was clear. The relentless tabloid scrutiny, combined with the pressures of royal duty, pushed Harry and Meghan to a breaking point. Meghan revealed in interviews that she felt unsupported by the institution, even during her struggles with mental health and pregnancy. Harry, haunted by memories of his mother Diana's fatal collision with paparazzi, grew determined to protect his wife and young son, Archie. In January 2020, the couple shocked the world with their announcement they would step back as senior royals. In a statement posted to Instagram, they declared their intention to carve out a progressive new role, splitting time between North America and the UK, while pursuing financial independence. The palace was blindsided. Negotiations followed, and what became known as the Sandringham Summit sealed their exit. The outcome was historic. Harry and Meghan lost their HRH titles, public funding, and military appointments. In exchange, they gained the freedom to pursue commercial ventures and control over their brand. For the monarchy, it was a painful rupture. For the couple, it was liberation, but one that came with risks. Leaving the royal fold placed them squarely in the public spotlight without the protective shield of the institution. Every word, every move would now be scrutinized without mercy. The stage was set for their most explosive decision yet, speaking out against the very family they had left behind. March 7th, 2021. The world watched as Meghan and Harry sat down with Oprah Winfrey for what would become one of the most controversial royal interviews in history. For 2 hours, the couple laid bare their grievances, and Meghan delivered revelations that reverberated globally. She spoke of suicidal thoughts during her time as a working royal, admitting she begged for help but was denied support. She described isolation so severe that she felt trapped. Most explosively, she revealed that a senior royal had expressed concerns about how dark her son Archie's skin might be. The accusation of racism within the royal family was unprecedented. Harry added his own criticisms, describing how the institution had failed to protect them from negative press and how financial ties were abruptly cut after their departure. The image of the royal family, long cultivated as dignified and united, cracked before the world's eyes. The reaction was polarizing. Supporters hailed Meghan for her courage in exposing racism and mental health neglect, while critics accused her of exaggeration and betrayal. The Oprah interview cemented Meghan as both a global symbol of resistance and a target of relentless backlash. In choosing to speak, she reshaped the narrative, but also escalated the conflict to levels no royal modern history had seen. With the Oprah interview still echoing, Meghan and Harry became entangled in a new front, the courts and the media battlefield. Meghan won a high-profile privacy case against the Mail on Sunday after it published a private letter she had written to her estranged father. The victory was symbolic, affirming her right to dignity against invasive tabloids, but it also kept her embroiled in endless headlines. Every legal filing became fodder for critics who accused her of playing the victim while simultaneously courting the spotlight. At the same time, reports surfaced about her treatment of palace staff. Former aides claimed Meghan bullied them, reducing some to tears. Buckingham Palace even announced a review of workplace practices, though the findings were never fully disclosed. To supporters, these stories were smear campaigns meant to silence a woman who challenged the monarchy. The cycle became vicious: lawsuits, leaked staff accounts, and constant tabloid attacks. Meghan's defenders pointed out the racial undertones in much of the criticism, from dog whistle headlines to relentless comparisons with Kate Middleton. But perception matters in public life, and for many observers, the constant storm of litigation and allegations became exhausting. Rather than clearing her image, each battle seemed to deepen divisions. Meghan had transformed from Hollywood actress to royal outsider, and now to a lightning rod in an all-out media war that seemed to have no end. After severing ties with the monarchy, Meghan and Harry needed both income and a platform. Enter the world of mega deals. Netflix, Spotify, and Penguin Random House signed multi-million-dollar contracts with the couple, who promised documentaries, podcasts, and memoirs that would uplift and inspire. At first, the ventures symbolized independence. Their Netflix docuseries offered their version of events, pulling back the curtain on royal life. Harry's memoir Spare became a bestseller, though it reignited family tensions. Meghan launched her own podcast, Archetypes, exploring gender stereotypes, and hinted at lifestyle ventures reminiscent of her old blog, The Tig. Most recently, she teased her new brand, American Riviera Orchard, tied to California living and luxury goods. But rebranding as media moguls brought fresh scrutiny. Critics accused them of monetizing royal connections while claiming to reject them. Some projects stalled or were quietly canceled, leading to whispers that the couple had overpromised. Meghan's brand launches drew mockery online, with skeptics calling them hollow or opportunistic. Even a Netflix cooking show sparked plagiarism claims, pulling her back into controversy. Still, these business moves kept Meghan in the spotlight and financially secure. Yet, they also blurred the line between empowerment and exploitation. Instead of escaping judgment, Meghan found herself judged on a new stage, one where the stakes were commercial, cultural, and reputational all at once. Public opinion of Meghan Markle has undergone one of the most dramatic reversals in recent memory. When she first entered the royal fold, she was hailed as a symbol of progress, a biracial, self-made woman modernizing a centuries-old institution. Many empathized with her struggle against intrusive tabloids and thinly veiled racism. Polls in 2018 showed strong approval ratings and widespread admiration, but by 2021, after the Oprah interview and a string of explosive headlines, her image fractured. Supporters saw Meghan as brave, speaking truth to power. Critics saw her as disloyal, airing family grievances for profit. The British press relentlessly painted her as manipulative, while American media split between adoration and skepticism. Social media amplified the extremes. Hashtags like Namyu We Love Meghan trended alongside Nar Megxit and cruel memes mocking her every move. The polarized landscape meant Meghan was rarely seen in shades of gray. You either loved her or loathed her. By 2023-2024, fatigue set in. Even neutral observers grew weary of the endless drama. Each new business venture or PR move was filtered through the same lens of controversy. Meghan's once sympathetic narrative of survival against racism and neglect became entangled with accusations of hypocrisy, opportunism, and oversharing. The tragedy of her downfall is not only that her image was damaged, but also that her original message about inclusion, mental health, and equality was lost in the noise. Meghan Markle became a cultural Rorschach test, admired by some, ridiculed by others, and impossible to ignore. As the years rolled into 2024 and 2025, Meghan's struggles with perception only deepened. Her ventures into lifestyle branding, particularly American Riviera Orchard, were met with mixed reviews. While some fans eagerly anticipated her vision of California chic, critics dismissed it as another attempt to cash in on her royal notoriety. Even her creative projects came under fire. A Netflix cooking show linked to her brand was accused of borrowing too heavily from existing concepts, sparking plagiarism chatter online. Though such claims often lacked concrete proof, the headlines reinforced a narrative of opportunism. At the same time, canceled deals, such as the end of their Spotify partnership, fueled speculation that the Sussexes were losing industry support. Each setback wasn't catastrophic on its own, but together they painted a portrait of decline. The glamour of independence had faded, replaced by an endless loop of small scandals, public mockery, and defensive PR maneuvers. Instead of controlling her image, Meghan seemed trapped by it, with critics ready to pounce on every move. What had once been a story of resilience against the crown now risked being remembered as one of missteps and squandered goodwill. Meghan's downfall cannot be pinned to a single moment. It was the product of many forces colliding. At its core was the monarchy itself, an institution built on hierarchy, tradition, and silence. Meghan, outspoken and independent, was never going to fit easily into that mold. Her American directness clashed with British reserve, her activism with the monarchy's neutrality. Race added another layer. For centuries, the royal family had projected a carefully curated image of whiteness and continuity. Meghan's biracial identity challenged that narrative, forcing the institution to confront modern realities it was unprepared for. The British press, notorious for its ruthless coverage, amplified racial undertones through constant negative comparisons and dog whistle headlines. Then came Meghan's own choices. By speaking out so forcefully, pursuing lawsuits, and tying her brand to her royal identity, she often fed the very narratives she sought to escape. The media completed the cycle, turning every gesture into a headline. What emerged was a storm too powerful for any single person to withstand. Meghan Markle became both symbol and scapegoat in equal measure. To call Meghan's trajectory a tragic downfall risks oversimplification. Despite the controversies, she remains a powerful figure with immense influence. Her charitable work through Archewell has supported mental health initiatives, gender equality campaigns, and disaster relief. For many, Meghan is still an inspiration, a woman who refused to be silenced, who used her platform to address race, misogyny, and mental health on a global stage. She has also scored real victories. Her privacy lawsuit against the Mail on Sunday set legal precedent for protecting individuals from press intrusion. Her podcast won awards, and her projects continue to attract attention, even if polarizing. Importantly, she and Harry maintain a loyal base of supporters who view them as trailblazers against a monarchy resistant to change. There's also the human element. Meghan has endured relentless attacks, including racist abuse online and in tabloids. Few individuals could withstand such scrutiny without scars. To dismiss her as opportunistic alone ignores the toll of that environment. Her story, then, is not just one of downfall, but of resilience too. Meghan may no longer command universal admiration, but she continues to shape conversations that reach far beyond the palace gates. And so we return to that image: Meghan Markle walking along the California shore, the waves crashing behind her, the crown now a distant memory. She is no longer the Hollywood actress waiting for a breakout role, nor the Duchess at the heart of a fairy tale wedding. She is something more complicated, a woman who dared to challenge an ancient institution and, in the process, became both a heroine and a villain in the eyes of the world. Her story is not neat. It is riddled with triumphs and contradictions, victories and wounds. She escaped the cage of monarchy. In the end, Meghan Markle's journey reminds us that fairy tales rarely survive reality, and that freedom always comes with a price.